Hamilton Archery Centre. I think that was a bullseye that George just got, Lori.
I think so.
Wow.
Well, pretty close, pretty close.
That was amazing. Thanks for having us here today.
Thanks for coming out. We appreciate you having you coming out to support us.
Yeah, this is a super cool venue. We are loving the fact that we get to not only watch it, but maybe experience it a little bit.
Oh, we'll get you shooting.
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be.
Can you tell me about the facility?
So we're a family-run archery range. We started out as a hobby, and we shared a little place with a horseshoe club out in Stony Creek, just to have some fun with the sport. And it quickly grew, and we outgrew that little space and decided to take this full-time as a business. We found this location, and in October of 2018, we moved here. We were originally in the basement and then upgraded in January of this year. We moved upstairs, much nice, brighter space.
Yeah, with the windows.
With the windows, yes.
Totally.
Yes, the windows are a definite perk.
Yeah.
And since that time, it's just grown and grown in the community. We've got over 60 youth in our programs.
Wow.
We've got archers that are competing at the local level, national level. We've got a couple of archers that have come out of here that are training actually to be in the Olympics. So we're quite proud of the quality of coaching that we provide to everybody that comes out. We have people that come out that just want to try, they just want something to do for an evening.
Yeah.
And we've got people that really get into the sport. They have a couple lessons, they're buying the full-on equipment, and they're shooting it and becoming part of our community, or our family.
I'm looking at some of these bows. That's what they're called, right?
Yes.
They're intense.
They are. They are very intense. My husband Glenn is going to talk about the different bow styles and explain a little bit more about the equipment later on.
Okay.
But yes, these are all of our coaches who've come out today to support us and help us spread the word of what a great sport it is.
How do you know when it's safe to go and get your arrows?
So right now, for the purposes of here, there's usually what we call a range marshal, or there's verbal calls.
Okay.
There's one call that tells all the archers to come up and step up to the line. Can't touch any arrows or anything. And then after that, what we do is somebody will call the line hot.
Okay.
In which case you can shoot your arrows. Once everybody's done, you step back. You see the lines here on the floor. We step back behind the red line, and the range marshal will call it clear, and everyone will go and collect their arrows. Okay, well, coming up, we're going to be talking about some range etiquette, some range rules, the line calls, all that details. Plus, we'll talk a little bit about bows and which ones do what with what arrows. I'm trying to get it, Laura. I'm really trying. You'll get it. You will.
All of that coming up, plus much more, possibly me shooting it. Next up on Morning Live. Stay with us. Back at Hamilton Archery Centre, and now we're going to take a look at the different types of bows, and I'm assuming different types of arrows, right, Glenn? There's different types?
Yeah, there are definitely different types of arrows. We won't get too much into that because that gets quite technical. We're just going to show you the basics. So there's 3 basic styles of archery. Okay. There's some other offshoots like English longbow, and there's Mongolian horse bows, but we're going to talk about the 3 basic styles of archery that you're going to see if you come to our facility. Okay. So anybody that comes in for a first lesson, it's basically bare bow. George is shooting a bare bow style. This is a little more advanced. With bare bow, it's basically a stick and a string, and that's what we teach with our initial lesson. You'll see George's bow has some weights on it, and this is more of an organic style of shooting. It's really knowing how your body feels because there's no indications of your draw length, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll see George, he's going to anchor in very specifically, nice smooth releases. So this is what you will come in to start with. This a little not quite as technically advanced as this
that
one
was
with
very
the
smooth
weights.
Though. Like that looks more complicated than it looks, I think.
Yeah, George is a very experienced archer, so this is a few years of shooting experience.
A few, when you say a few, how long has George been shooting for?
Exactly.
Wow. That was amazing. Okay, what's next?
So then next we'll step up to, this is compound. This is very, more common in, you'll see hunting quite often they'll use a compound bow, but very, very common in competitive archery. So when we shoot a compound bow, we have some mechanical advantage. We have cams. So what that means is when we pull the string back, you go over the heavy part of your draw weight, and then you get let off. So you can have let off anywhere from 60% up to 99% let off. We have a peep sight on the string here. So we actually, when we draw back, we actually go through this peep sight.
Yeah, I was going to say, where is he looking? He's looking through that little...
And we can have magnification. We have weights on the bow, different types of releases. There's hinge release, wrist release, thumb buttons.
Okay. And the weights on the bow serve what purpose?
Obviously, more speed. You'll get a lot more speed depending on the weight.
I see.
And that gets into different styles of arrows, et cetera, et cetera. When we actually draw this bow back, we hit what we call a wall. So it hits a point where the string won't come back any farther than it is. So they're set up very specifically to the archer. When you come in, you'll actually get sized up for your draw length. So they're very specific as far as how far
to the
you
size
pull.
of you.
So
and
these are
your
very
reach.
common.
Okay.
And then we step into our recurve or our Olympic style bow, which Jackie is demonstrating. This is
Wow.
what you'll see in the Olympics. So
That's intense.
this is a very disciplined sport as well. We have all the weights and stabilizers on here. We have a sight on the front that we're actually lining up that we're looking through. You're not allowed to have any magnification in that. So
Wow.
it's just a straight circle with a lens but no magnification. Draw length is very specific. So if you'll see when Jackie shoots, there's a clicker on the front of the bow. As he draws through, that clicker will come off the arrow, so he knows that he's at the exact same draw length every time. Very disciplined sport because there's no let off on this.
Right.
So you have to be able to pull through the weight as smoothly as possible. And when this clicker comes off the arrow, he'll fire at that exact same moment. You'll hear the click. You might hear the click. And he fires at the exact same moment. So he knows at the exact same draw length.
Every single time.
Yeah, so there's no let off when you shoot a recurve.
Yeah.
So it's very disciplined because you're pulling fairly heavy weight. You
Yeah.
have to stay as smooth as possible as we're drawing through. And when we hear that click, we release. Typically, Olympic shooters would be shooting somewhere between 40 to 55 pounds of draw weight, so you have to try and pull that as smoothly as possible.
Amazing.
When you shoot compound bow, they can range anywhere from 15 pounds up to 70 pounds.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to be trying my hand at probably the easiest one out of the three. That's going to be coming up. Okay, that's my target. They've been kind enough to give me a balloon, which is going to be a lot easier for me to see if I want to shoot it. Lee has been giving me a couple of lessons behind the scenes just to save some time for television because we really don't have all day. So he's teaching me a little bit how to use the bow. Now, what type of bow am I going to be using?
This is just a basic recurve bow.
Okay, so that's good. What's the first step?
So the first step is to get to the line. So we're
Okay.
the only ones here, so we're going to skip the safety stuff. So we'll pick that bow up, and then we're going to change our feet so that we're straddling the shooting line like that.
Okay.
And then we're going to hold the bow
Right
like
way.
that. That's okay. And then load that arrow up on the bow with the odd feather facing away.
Okay, I was actually really good at this in practice, so.
This is forever the awkward part.
I know, this is forever the awkward part. I like that
There we
saying.
go.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 fingers, put them all underneath that yellow knot because we're shooting this style of bare bow. And then we're going to take the finger off the arrow, and then we're going to kind of lift everything up, but we're not going to pull the string back quite yet. We're going to make sure our arm's out of the way, and we're going to lift that back elbow up. And then we're going to pull all the way back into our anchor point, so our finger's going to kind of go to our lip, and fingers on our cheek.
Wait, my thumb on my
Not
cheek or
your
my
thumb.
finger?
You want your index knuckle tight to, yeah, exactly, like that's perfect. And then
Ooh.
aim that arrow right at that balloon.
I feel like I'm going to hit my face.
Oh no, your face is absolutely fine.
Okay.
Fire away. Awesome. First try.
Luke, did you see that? Yeah, I hope so. Because Luke's been making fun of me, like, don't give her a bow and arrow. On my first try.
It's just that easy.
No, it's not that easy. It is very difficult. It uses muscles I didn't even know I had. Okay, so 3 fingers.
Yeah.
This
Just
and
like
this.
that.
Okay, I'm going to pull up before I pull back.
And then lift that back elbow up before we start. And then go all the way back into the anchor, right to the lip. Elbow up just a little bit higher, switch eyes.
All right.
There you go. Aim right in the middle, and we'll see where it goes.
I knew that was going to be a bad shot.
It's
But if
still
there
on
was a
target.
balloon there, I would have got it. It's still on target. Okay, so are you kind of the lessons guy? So when
Yeah.
people come in and they want to learn how to take archery lessons?
Yep, I'm the head coach, so I pretty much run up everything.
Okay, and you've got programs for kids and adults?
All kinds of stuff. So we've got group classes, private classes, we've got kids programs all the way from introduction to archery to we've got a really, really good youth league, and then we've got a competitive team, and we go and do tournaments and all kinds of stuff.
Wow, okay, so that includes a lot of moving parts behind the scenes, I'm sure.
There's a lot going on. A lot of coaches, a lot of people kind of making everything work.
That's so amazing. So if somebody wants to come here, what do they need to do?
Start with a lesson.
Yeah?
Get
Okay.
booked. Go on
All
our
right.
website, hamiltonarcherycenter.com, and get started.
All right, I'm going to give it another shot. It's really difficult, but not that difficult. But it is a lot of fun. I'm having a
Yeah.
really good time learning how to do it. Finger to thumb.
Exactly. Lift everything up.
Lift everything up.
Get that elbow up there, all the way back. Switch eyes.
So right, I don't know why I keep looking through the wrong eye. Okay, we've got lots more coming up on Morning Live. Stay with us. Oh, that one wasn't as good.
It's because there's no balloon there. It's okay.
Okay, now I know there are a lot of rules and there's a little bit of etiquette that goes along with archery, Lee.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, these people were standing relatively close to each other. There's got to be a lot of safety rules.
There is and there isn't. It's pretty straightforward, and we get a lot closer than that. But yeah, it runs itself. You have your own allotted amount of space on the shooting line, and you just follow the basic rule of. There's 3 calls. There's line up, line hot, line clear. Line up means you can stand on the shooting line, but no touching arrows. That makes sure everybody is safe and ready to go.
Yeah.
Line hot means everybody shoots at the same time, and then when everybody's done, we'll say clear, and we all flex together.
And that's one person's job to do all of that.
One person.
That's not shooting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, sometimes they're shooting, but it's the most experienced person on the line.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it wouldn't be me.
No.
But I did get my first shot. But I think it's beginner's luck, though,
Almost
to be
ready.
honest. Yeah, I'm almost ready. Okay, tell me about some of the programs here. Take me through a bit of a rundown and how do people get in contact with you?
Yeah, so we have social media and we have our website. Everybody wants to start with a lesson. You do a private lesson or a group lesson, and then we kind of go from there. We've got all kinds of programs, introduction to archery for youth. We have kids leagues, adult leagues, all kinds of stuff that you can get involved in.
And I heard a rumor that you don't actually need a membership, which is kind of cool.
No membership. So we're all hourly, and you can buy chunks of time to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
But we want it to be easy and accessible to do archery.
It's nice because that means you don't have that long-term commitment to be, you know, because I've got kids, and sometimes kids change their mind on what they like and what they don't like.
Yeah, they change their minds quite a bit until they're in archery, then they kind of stick with it.
And then they don't go anywhere. Good line.
Exactly.
All right, well, thanks so much, Lee, for having us here and for teaching us the basics of archery. And if you want to sign up, you heard the man, they've got social media channels, they've got website. We're at the Hamilton Archery Centre here on Morning Live.